welcome to Beyond the Mirror podcast. It's a great pleasure to introduce today's guest, Dr. Tatiana Mamontova. Dr. Tatiana specializing in hair transplant surgery, and today she will share insights of her journey as well as how to be safe when you're choosing this procedure. Tanya, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to have you. Can you please tell us more about yourself, your background, where did you started, what medical school did you went to?
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's a big pleasure to be with you. And I am from Ukraine originally, and I've studied in Ukrainian Medical University in Dnipro. Then I finished my pediatric surgery courses, and then I used to be just a little bit a newborn surgeon assistant as well. So I've done my 5 years on pediatric surgery before I moved to the UK, and then I was always interested in aesthetics and plastic surgery. So I've decided to add onto my education, and I went to Novosibirsk in Russia, and I finished there another 2 years of. It's like a switch between the professions. So I've become a plastic surgeon and I came back to UK back again. And I've done 2 trainings on the hair transplantation. One was in London in Harley Street. It was Harley Street Hair Clinic, and another one, the private clinic of Harley Street. And I just fell in love with hair and skin.
And that is where you're specializing now?
Yes. So I've been doing it for 12 years now, and it's my full-time job.
Amazing. And how did it feel have you been employed before in the UK? Did you have an opportunity to work in National Health before you went into private sector? Or did you started to build your career in hair industry straight away?
Yeah, so I was registered as a locum for just a little while, and before I received a contract for employment. It was 3.5 years, but it was including training for the hair transplant as well. So I finished that, and after that, during the employment, I kind of saw different people who were self-employed coming in and working with us and sharing the amazing stories of how you can be more free and decide what days you can work, as long as you have different contracts with the companies. So I kind of decided to become a self-employed, and as soon as my contract was finished, I kind of gently moved into the self-employment.
And how did it feel at the time, leaving security of employment and pursuing your dream and also dreams of freedom?
It's so scary. It's so scary. It's like you run into the mountain, you jump in, and then you have to fly. But before you fly, there is a second of, oh, what shall I do? Because if you are a doctor or a surgeon or you're a nurse or anything, electrician, then you need somebody to give you work. If you're not good enough, people don't give you work. If you're good enough, they will, and they will book you up front. And that's what's happening. I think the most important factor with people when they go to self-employment is make sure that you're very confident with what you do and you're really passionate about it. And that's how it's kind of a guarantee that you will always have your work.
Amazing. So I never thought about this way, but I think that is an excellent point. And how did your friends and family felt at the time when you chose a specialty as hair transplants and then moved to the self-employed career? Was they supportive? Did they doubt you?
That's a good question. My parents, especially my father, he kind of frowned upon doing hair after doing pediatric surgery. He feels like it's a little bit below what I was doing. But now I feel the more I'm sharing stories with them, the more I say how important actually this profession is, they just didn't know it exists. The more details I'm telling them about what actually I do during the day, now within like 5 years, I can see he's slowly switching into, oh, actually it is a job and it has a very big impact on patients' lives, not just appearances, on their confidence. It's really as amazing rewards as well when they're super, super happy, especially when they've been somewhere like abroad, they come back from abroad with a very bad procedures done, or even in the UK, there is some not high quality procedures could be done. And then we redo them and retreat them, and they're so much happier. And when I share it to my parents, they're very, very happy.
And by any chance, is your father have a medical background as well? Or...
No, he's a minor.
Okay, okay.
I think that's where judgment comes from.
I thought he might be a doctor, and that is why he thought that pediatric surgery is the way forward. But I think it's also important to be happy with what you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tanya, can you please share with us how many hours were you putting in at the beginning when you were working your way up to be this doctor who always booked up?
Yeah, of course. It's a very, very good question, because I'm thinking now back. We lived in Birmingham at the time, and I had to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to be able to catch a train to London, because my session starts at 8. So I caught the earliest 5 a.m. Then it was 2 hours, 2.5 hours on the train, and then I walked to the clinic. And it was about 49 minutes walk. I know exactly, because I was walking almost every day. It was awful. But just because I didn't have enough money for the taxis, and I've done it for 3.5 years before I've been offered by the company a relocation. And they also offered me a very generous, as I remember, £3,000 for the relocation to slightly closer to St. Albans, which is 20 minutes from London. So the amount of hours was insane, because obviously you come back home after the long day of training, you have to cook, clean, all the women's do, and make sure the children's fine. But I believe that especially females, women, if they put anything into their mind, I think they can do almost everything.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. But I think also moving to a different country, which not your native language as well, is a quite brave move itself. I think most people who do that, they actually able to build or made a success of themselves, because it shapes you, it makes you stronger, and it's very inspiring what you did.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I feel like every person is like a diamond. You just need pressure and a high temperature, and then you start shining. But it's a very slow process as well. You just need to be very determined on what you're doing and just see the final goal. Don't see the obstacles around you. Just see that final goal somewhere in front of you. If you learn a new language, just see and imagine how you fluently speak it. Or if you on a new job, just see yourself relaxed as a professor, in your chair, and just get to that point and you will be there.
Well, that is a very, very good piece of advice. And did you have a mentor in your career as a hair transplant surgeon?
No, I did have a trainers, but I feel like all my path within the hair transplantation was very full of obstacles. I feel like people who are training you then don't really want you to be fully trained. So you have to just take knowledge all by yourself. Learn from you can see, from you can hear, from you can read, do lots of additional running around extra miles. Because the more competitive field is, the less people want you to be there. So just be ready for it. And I think the most important mentor in my life I can see is my mom. She was me on the phone, on the train, 4 a.m., 2 a.m. It doesn't matter what was happening in my life. I was always on the phone, crying or laughing or complaining. She was there all the time, bless her.
Well, amazing. I think it's so important to have this connection despite your thousands of miles apart. Yeah. And Tanya, you mentioned about the bigger industry become, the less people want you there. So we see that hair transplant industry have grown over the last few years. Do you think it's reached its saturation point, or is there still potential for growth?
It's a very, very good question, because I feel the saturation point where people don't want hair transplant anymore, or majority of the people already have it. I don't think we're going to reach that. But what's happening right now, it's on the market, it's fast growing. Clinics with no doctors available there to perform a high quality procedure and a safe procedure from a legal point of view. The most clinics and business owners who open in them, they are using technicians with no medical background to perform 10, 20 procedures a day sometimes.
Wow.
And
In
they
the
just,
UK?
In the UK as well. And some of them are very well known because they spend a lot of money on the marketing. But what's also happening right now at the same time on the background is those patients who's been operated, they are not now stupid, they are well intelligent people. They going back and they start complaining. So I already know a couple of cases where 26 patients' complaints go into the court hearing against a couple of doctors who didn't perform the procedure, who was just like umbrellas. So it's growing as well. It's like a small revolution, if you may call it. So I feel if you are having a really good team with the doctors and nurses and present, you will always be booked for the next, I don't know, 100 years until we open
Amazing.
stem cell therapy.
So we just need to explore longevity more so that we can live these years, our life to full potential.
Yeah.
And Tanya, what would be your advice to doctors who are looking to enter this industry? Because as it's becoming popular, we see more and more doctors want to offer this procedure. So what is the right pathway? What would be your recommendation?
So for any doctor with a GMC medical license to practice who would like to learn about hair transplant, they just need a really good mentor on a hair transplant. And ideal world, if you can find the courses for the doctors, which hopefully we will open soon as well. And maybe you can jump on a contract with some big companies so you can have your day-to-day practice before you feel confident in practicing all by yourselves. I feel like if you go abroad for Turkey or India, for example, they offer in a couple of days courses or like 5 days course, you will come back with nothing. That's my feeling, because it took me maybe 2.5 years until my knees stopped shaking before I'm entering the room. Mm-hmm. Because it's quite a difficult procedure to master.
So have a good team around you until you build the confidence.
100%.
And what would be your advice to the patient who are looking to have this procedure? What signs they need to look at and how to find the clinic or doctor that will give them the desirable outcome and provide the good aftercare, and they will have this full patient journey that is satisfactory?
Yes, absolutely. So what I would advise to every single patient is, maybe now it's 21st century and everything online, but I would advise them actually to pedal back a little bit and do everything by foot and by face-to-face talking. That what will secure the guarantee of the successful procedure. So for example, if you found a clinic and it's really nicely branded, I would advise speak on them on the phone, go and see them face-to-face, not just salespeople, to go to see the doctors face-to-face. Maybe potentially ask permission to see how you provide in procedure. Come in on the day of the procedure, ask permission to look into, just have a little pick and maybe ask that patient a couple of questions. And then also try to find the forums when people discussing some of the doctors in there. And absolutely essential to check doctors' license to practice and check the CQC registration of that clinic. It sounds a lot, but it is what you need to do to be safe.
Well, and quite a few of those things are also available online, like doctor registration, CQC registration. And I do agree with you. I think personal face-to-face consultation and visit to the clinic is so important before any intervention procedure.
Yeah, 100%.
Tanya, and this question I ask all my guests. In your case, it will be directed towards hair transplant industry. So do you believe that correctly performed hair transplant surgery has an impact on patient life that goes beyond reflection in the mirror, that it's not just about vanity?
I couldn't agree more with that, to be fair. And as an example, I can give example of one of my patients. Actually, recently, he came in for the 12-month review. And he came and told us that he just wants his hairline to restore because he doesn't like how it looks in the mirror. And then we've done the procedure, everything's very successful. When he came back to us with chocolates and some flowers to say thank you, what we heard, it wasn't about the mirror. What we've heard of when he, the words of his gratitude was, you know what I do now? I go more often. I go to the gym more often so I can sweat. I've booked lots of holidays so I can go to the swimming pool, and I can do like that when I come back from the swimming pool. I'm not scared of the rain anymore, and I'm not scared of the wind anymore. So I'm thinking that little sentence, what he said, I don't like myself in the mirror, actually meant the whole entire life. It's changing all your day-to-day routine. It's adding on so much more fun. You can relax and be yourself and just live your life in full, like high quality one that you wanted. And it's just a hairline.
That is amazing. And Tanya, is there anything in your career when you reflect back you wish you learned earlier?
Earlier, oh, such a good question, that one. I would say, I really want to say yes, but I wish I learned all of that so much earlier. But to be fair, I feel like everything that came to my life was in right time. And I feel anyone who's struggling right now, maybe trying to reach the career, be successful, or in the middle of the journey, in the beginning of the journey, just believe in yourself. Anything that bad comes to you, it's all by reason. There is a reason behind everything. And what happened to me, it happened in the right time, in the right moment.
Amazing. I think, and that is probably the attitude that helps you to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Because if you always want to be somewhere else or always full of regret, you're missing the present, which is the most important.
100%.
And Tanya, the last question, where people can find more information about you, or maybe doctors that want to connect and ask some question, maybe patient who are looking to have this procedure done, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, so if you will find 12 Angels, and they've got beautiful website where you can go and have a look and get in touch, and we will book you for the consultation or face-to-face consultation. There could be a phone. We can show you the procedures, how we work, and the team. And that's, I think, the best and fastest way to get in touch.
Well, thank you very much. It has been a great pleasure, and thank you for all the information that you shared.
Thank you so much.